Do the honor.
How about 1, 2, 3? Yeah.
We're really excited as a city to be able to celebrate the near completion of this project. As if you can look around, it's obvious we still have a little more work to do, but this is an opportune time to celebrate, and in the coming weeks all the T's will be crossed and I's dotted, and this thing will turn into a beautiful, fully functioning, completed project. We kicked this thing off in June, and so contractor and city staff have been tremendously busy over 4 months to finish as much work as we have both behind us and in front, well, behind you and behind me. And we're really excited. The project represents another milestone in execution of this Duportail-Stevens corridor. 2007, the City Council adopted a vision of connecting downtown waterfront district to South Richland across the Yakima River, and we're marching our way to completion. This is the third out of 4 segments that we need to actually finish that. And so when these things are fully open in the next couple of weeks, we'll be just 1 segment short. It happens to be the biggest one, but we're very confident in our plan to complete that one as well. This corridor represents a lot of things to the community. First of all, it represents that connectivity that we need because of some historical bottlenecks in Richland that make connection across the city and particularly across the Yakima River very cumbersome at times. So this is a vision that's going to help us solve that. At the same time, this expresses our vision that we've had for the last 10 years about building streets for all users, and that in our industry that carries a name of complete streets. But we build streets for the traveling public that travels in cars. We build them for travel when they travel by walking, which in this neighborhood behind us, there's an elementary school nearby, and many of the streets in the neighborhood don't have sidewalks or safe places for those children to walk. So this project represents us taking a step to improve the traveling environment for even the youngest of our residents. We also have dedicated bicycle lanes and on-street parking so that the full needs, what people need out of a street, are met in these designs, and we're pretty excited about it. We also taken a couple measures to elevate the experience or the look and feel of roads, and you can see that in downtown where we plant more trees and have wider sidewalks. On this project, we after talking to the neighborhood about what would work best for them, decided to make these intersections roundabouts, and those roundabouts contribute a couple things. They contribute some traffic calming, that people slow as they slow going through the neighborhood and retain the comfort of living in a neighborhood while there's more traffic going through it. We also design them to be a visual appeal, so that they introduce new character and those features into the community. And so with those, we're really proud to have all those elements in place. And so I've mentioned that we're getting to this point sets the stage for the bridge, which we expect to start construction on at the end of 2017 and finish in a timely way thereafter. So we appreciate the residents, particularly the residents behind you. They had their neighborhood torn up all summer, had to live with dust and noise and a lot of people unfamiliar to their neighborhood. We're just about to put that back together and they can get back to enjoying their neighborhood. I'd like to say a few things about the many people that contributed to this, and I'll start with the City Council, who adopted that vision in 2007 and said, we've got something important to do. And they picked something that wasn't an easy choice, and then set it as a priority for us staff to go and execute. And so that took some real foresight, and it's playing out to the city's benefit now. Funding partners, you can't do this kind of thing without money. Cities can't do these kind of things on their own in Washington State. And so we rely very heavily and very consistently on Mr. Gorchester's agency. He's been a tremendous friend to Richland and the Tri-Cities and continues to be. His agency has funding in in all 3 of the phases of this corridor thus far, and nudge, nudge, we're hoping and counting on him being a player in the next one as well. 4 for 4. Nobody bats 1,000 like the TIB. Yeah. So we also had some new players contribute to this project that we haven't. And in public works, us engineers tend to simplify and execute, and sometimes we don't open our eyes and look around. And we got some hints that we should do that. And meaning my city manager told me that I shall do that. And sometimes it takes that kind of hint to get through to an engineer. So we reached out and we talked to the Parks and Recreation Commission about the project, because the ground behind me and on this slope is an open space park, and our Parks Department has a vision for it. And so we didn't want to violate that vision in doing the project, and we worked very closely to design it. And it's a little bit invisible to us right here, but this includes a soft surface trail along the linear feature of that park. We preserved and improved that feature as part of this project. And it's not paved, and we're not standing on it, so you won't see it. But that feature remains available to the people recreating in our community. We also engaged another new group. It's our Arts Commission, and that's new for Richland to involve the arts group in a road project. But it was a great partnership. We reached out to their commission through their staff liaison, and they worked for several months on the design of the roundabouts and the treatment of that visual feature of the project. And I think they should be very proud, as we are, of the result, that we have sculptures in our roundabouts and this really attractive landscaping.
You know, the good news is I don't have to say anything after that, do I? I mean, because it's hard to follow an engineer when you get them rolling. And it doesn't happen often, but frankly, you've come a long ways just in your public presentation and actually the work we do. You know, council made some decisions to embark on an idea of freeing Richland up from its transportation woes. It's not easy. You know, we're bottlenecked on George Washington Way and Jadwin. One of the ways of freeing that part of our community up to be more than it currently is by getting access this way to go out to the bypass and go out south across the Duportail Bridge that's coming. That takes vision, takes a lot of work, and frankly, the good news that staff did is they listened to council, and then council got the hell out of the way and let staff do what they do best. And that doesn't happen in all projects, frankly. A lot of political machination seems to go into play, and sometimes they play out, sometimes they don't. But in this particular project, we allowed staff and their partners that they work with on a daily basis to go out and be successful. And you're looking at that here today. I do want to say Leo Bowman's in the audience, and Leo did a lot for Ben Franklin Transit and did transit in general in our area. And this is part of a vision that, you know, if you live in Richland, you understand the limitations Richland has on being all it can be. By creating this Stevens Duportail corridor, we have some options that allow us to do some pretty exciting things. And you're seeing a lot of changes in the city of Richland. And again, if we allow our staff to do what we do, and we have the funding to do it, so we look to our state partners. If we can do it, we can make this a more magical city than it already is. And what it is all quality of life. And I've been very fortunate to stand up here and talk to people, but it really wasn't about us. We made a decision, but we got the hell out of the way. And that's an important point that most political leaders forget about. Get the hell out of the way and let your people do stuff. And that's all the words I've got.
Thank you. It's so nice to be back in Richland and on such a beautiful day. We've participated in quite a number of projects here, and as you can see, because everybody's mentioned it, the city loves to get grants. Makes sense. This is a really great network connection. This entire hill was sort of a barrier in the town, and we helped with Cottonwood Lawless corridor some years ago, and now we have this connection. You're getting better pedestrian and better bicycle and probably better automobile and transit access too. So this is really produces a lot of value from the standpoint of our program. We're a state grant agency that receives the money from 3 cents of the state gas tax, and we get to invest that back in cities across the state. And we were able to bring $2.5 million of your gas tax money. That's $2.5 million. I sense that might have sounded like billion. No, not yet. That'll be after the bridge. We'll be talking about that. So we have these project completion plaques because we just love to get them done, and we have 400 projects, so sometimes they don't. And I'd like to present this one to Mayor Thompson and ask Representative Haler to come up as well. And I'll just read this quickly. Come on over here. Pete, come on over here too. Here's this plaque. It says, presented to the City of Richland, Mayor Robert Thompson, in recognition of our successful partnership on Duportail Reconstruction and Extension, October 2016, grant funding from the Washington State Transportation Improvement Board. And because there's a lot of other places to spend the money from 3 cents of the state gas tax, we represent our local legislative delegation when we do these. And this one recognizes the 8th District legislators, Senator Brown, Representative Clippard, and Representative Haler. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Really, I am anxious to see the conclusion of this, and that's with the Duportail Bridge. Representative Clippard and I and Senator Brown fought hard to get the money that you did get for your money for the Duportail Bridge, as well as the other city projects around here. And just a side note, when you take a look at what our state taxes do as far as gas tax go, this is the first time in state history where we've actually funded city roads. And so I think that it's a great step forward, and I look forward to seeing it happen, hopefully not another gas tax soon, but I do hope that we continue to fund city roads, especially ones here in the Tri-Cities, since we've got the best people in the world here. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to City of Richland for successfully complete or almost completing this phase of Stevens Duportail corridor. We out here at the Department of Transportation are as excited as the City of Richland with this Stevens Duportail corridor, especially the next phase that has already been talked about by others, the Duportail Bridge over Yakima River. I've lived out there right off Keene Road for the last 16 years or so, and I remember the traffic volume at that Queensgate interchange, about 6, pushing max about 7,000. Our numbers from last year, 2015, showed about 18,000. I know now, almost end of 2016, we're up there about 19, 20,000. That's a lot of traffic, and the the Duportail Bridge will be a huge help taking some of that volume off that Queensgate interchange, and that's why we're really excited, and we definitely support the city for this Stevens Duportail corridor, and can't wait until that bridge is completed. I know we got a couple years to go, but it'll be a huge help again to that Queensgate area. Once again, congratulations, Pete, Jeff, Julie, and the rest of the staff out of the City of Richland, as well as the contractor. Great job.